Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7 and today we are taking a look at the Ferra Monster Glideman. Now, this knife did come from the Lefty Pass-Around group, so it is not mine to keep and it will go back to the Lefty Pass-Around group after my review. Now, I believe this was an in-house design for Ferra Monster, because I couldn't find any name associated with it. And recently I've done reviews on the other models that Ferra Monster has, the Aurora Rays, the Urban Grip, and even though these guys only have 3 models out, I mean, they're all unique and like distinct from one another, completely different styles of knives. They all have their purpose and function. I'm really hoping to see more models out of Ferra Monster in the near future. So first impressions of this guy is he is chunky and angry, as far as I can tell. He looks ticked, which I'm cool with, but like, this looks like a knife that woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Once again, I'm totally cool with that. That's just what it brings to mind. Otherwise, it has a clean aesthetic. We've got the smooth, plain titanium scales. We have T8 hardware, T8 pivot collar. We have a non-reversible, relatively deep, not super deep, but relatively deep carry pocket clip. It's milled titanium. We've got some like scallops on each side, and then we have a little bit of a dip. Kind of hard to see from the side, but you can see it right here. Just little details that don't really impact the functionality. It just shows attention to detail. We do have a lanyard hole and quasi jimped backspacer. And then ergonomics. I was just checking to see if there's anything I missed. Ergonomics, we've got options. Now I will say, behind the flipper tab, I'm a little cramped, right? I can get 4 fingers on there, but you know, I don't have the biggest hands. I'm a large size glove, which means if you wear, you know, an XL, or if you've got chubby fingers or anything like that, it's going to be kind of hard for you to get a full-handed grip behind the flipper tab. However, we have a very generous choke up spot, which allows my middle finger to rest right in here comfortably. I get plenty of space down here for my 2 fingers, and I get plenty of room inside this finger choil. So this right here, heaven. I could do this all day. The pocket's a bit of a hot spot. The pocket clip is a hot spot back here. Up here, no issues. Yeah, this is a dream. Holding it up here, you could slice boxes, open packages, whatever you need to do all day long. The grip, choked up, is that good. We have some jimping for indexing, for a little bit more than indexing, but like, it's not gonna lock you in, right? So like, you can get a little traction there, but it's not gonna keep you put. The other thing is using this finger choil, you can also pinch grip, and you can either get right behind the poon to give yourself a little more power, a little more control, or you can go beyond the poon and really get precise with like your draw cuts, you know, or anything that requires a little more care than, you know, just gripping and ripping. As far as the balance goes, we are a little butt heavy. So you can see, and it's actually a little more butt heavy than you would think, because ideally, you know, we want to be choked up here, which means this thing's got a badonk that you're going to have to account for whatever you're holding the knife. And it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, the knife isn't that astronomically heavy. You're just going to have, you're going to feel the difference, right? You're going to feel quite a bit of weight back here. I mean, it's 3.77 ounces, right? So you probably have, you know, 2.75, nearly 3 ounces sitting in the handle, with the bulk of that being right behind the middle finger, right? So once again, not that big of a deal. It's just something to note. Now, as far as the blade goes, I'm gonna call this a harpoon drop point. And I say drop point, feel free to correct me, but I say drop point because if you take everything else away from it, we have a belly, which drop points tend to have, but also our tip is essentially in line with our pivot screw, just a tad below it, which is also where a drop point would be. Now, you could make the case that it's a sheep's foot, you could make the case that it's a Warncliffe, you can make cases for all that, but for me, I'm gonna say it's a harpoon drop point. We have a plain satin finish on the blade. We are rocking what to me feels like a flat grind, because the transition is not that drastic, right? We are getting pretty thin behind the edge, but we're maintaining a robust spine. So you can see it's plenty thick back here, and then it thins out moving forward, but it's still plenty robust, which means this is going to be good for any poking, you know, or, you know, I don't want to use the S word. I don't know what you would say, but you know, if you just need to poke forward into a package and then cut down, you'll be able to do this without worrying about breaking the tip, because you have so much reinforcement right up here while maintaining a thin, you know, really thin edge for slicing. Sorry, I got really caught up on how to say this without, you know, ticking off the terms of service or whatever it is. Now, as far as the blade steel, we're rocking M390, which I believe is labeled, yep, there we go. And M390 is going to be, it's a good steel, but its biggest attribute is going to be its corrosion resistance, right? So if you're in the Midwest or if you're going to be working outside, M390 is going to be a pretty good option for making sure that you don't rust out. So like, I'm in the Midwest, so I like M390 because whenever I go outside, do any work, do any cutting, you know, I still have to take care of my knives, but I do get a little reassurance that, you know, my knife isn't going to rust out instantly. I couldn't find the HRC listed. There is not really rumor, but there's like, I guess kind of rumor that these guys might be the OEM for Bestech, and Bestech, I believe, does their M390 61 to 63. So don't get me wrong, that's if it's if they OEM for Bestech and if they're doing it at 61 to 63. I know there's some ifs in there, but that's about as close as I can give you, considering I couldn't find it listed publicly anywhere. Now, as far as the D10 goes, the action in general, this thing is snappy. It feels great with the flipper. Feels great with the reverse flick. You can thumb flick it, although not nearly as satisfying. I don't think you can, yeah. I don't think, I mean, I could cheat and fail it, but I mean, no one's ever gonna do that. I mean, the lightest, if you just, any effort. But if you actually get in there, very clicky, very snappy, very satisfying. We have a shake shut. Nice clank at the bottom. Lock bar access is fantastic. Not only is it sticking out further than the show side, but it's also scalloped on the inside very comfortably. So you get in there easily, it's comfortable, not pokey, you do your shake shut. And overall, it's just a really fantastic experience getting to fidget this knife. Now, overall length, oh, actually, let me see if we're lefty friendly. I don't do anything lefty. I don't practice opening stuff lefty. So whenever you see me do something with my left hand, It's because I'm truly a scrub, and if I can do it with my left hand, then pretty much anybody can do it with their left hand. And while this pocket clip is not reversible, if you're a lefty, you're gonna have no problem using this knife left-handed. Overall length, we're coming at about 7.19 inches with a blade length of 3.05. Already talked about the weight being at 3.77 ounces. And we have a 0.73 or a 73% blade to handle ratio, which isn't bad. You definitely, for me, if blade to handle ratio matters, you definitely want to be as close to 80% as possible. That way, oh, sorry for the shake. That way you kind of get that Shirogorov look, where it looks like it's about 50-50. So this one's not too bad though. It's 7.3, it definitely doesn't look like it's 50-50, but to be honest, I don't know, for some reason with this fat little chunker, it just doesn't bother me nearly as much not having an excellent blade to handle ratio. Now let's do some size comparisons. We will go up against the Kubi Velvet Snake, highly recommend, review coming soon. And the Velvet Snake is going to dwarf the glideman. Let's do the Migaron Mini Acri. And that's going to come in, it looks like just a hair shorter than the glideman. And one more. We'll do the Kubi Verahero. And the Verahero is also going to dwarf the glideman. So as you can see, it's not, like, this is a full-size knife by most standards, and this is coming in an inch and some change shorter, right? So this is a very pocketable, very easy knife to carry, albeit kind of chubby. The price on this is coming in at $238. Now, do I think this knife is worth it at $238? I would say for the execution, M390, assuming it's well heat treated, titanium, all T8 hardware, I would say, yeah, 238 bucks, absolutely. However, most YouTubers, not me, not yet. Oh, wow. I just noticed their HRCs on the website at 60 to 62 HRC. No clue why that evaded me for the hour and a half I spent looking for it. 60 to 62 plain as day on their website. With 60 being on the lower end, that's a whole hell of a lot better than 59. So I would say 60 to 62 would be a good, adequate range. And this knife would definitely be worth the $238 still. Now, most YouTubers, not me, not yet, have a code that'll get you 10% off. So my recommendation to you would be find your favorite YouTuber, be it, Lefty, Stasa, EDC with DBD, find their Ferra Monster link, click on it. It should automatically apply the 10% off, and that would drop the price of this to right around, let's see, it'll take 24 bucks off, so what, 214, 215 and some change, making this even more convincing of a purchase. Now, would I carry this knife? Absolutely. Not only is this thing snappy, but it's massively utility driven, right? There's not many jobs you're going to come across that this thing can't poke through or slice through. So when you factor in fidgety goodness, acoustic delight, but also just compact, raw utilitarian workhorse, yeah, I would absolutely carry this all day long. Very fun, very practical knife. Now, is this something you would carry? Drop a comment down below and let me know if this knife is going to have a spot either in your daily carry, if it would have a spot in your collection, and if it does, then the link to the knife will be down below. But as I said, I don't have a code yet, so you're better off finding a YouTuber that does have a code, which is probably all of them, and getting that 10% discount. Now, if you want more reviews like this, hit the like button, subscribe, And follow me on Instagram at SEVRSEVN. And I'm also, side note, I'm looking for a leather mat that I can do teardowns on. So if anyone has a hookup on one of those, that would be awesome. And then I'm also looking to get a metal plate that's got like my logo on it, my socials, and stuff like that. So if somebody has a hookup on that or knows anybody that knows anybody, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. All right, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes and the shares. It means a tremendous amount, especially as somebody who's newer to this. I'm in it for the long haul, right? So I'm not going anywhere. But otherwise, yeah, just keep rocking with me, guys. Appreciate you. Big giveaway at 500. And until next time.